sun's shining, I'm feeling surfy. In England, you can apparently never be more than 75 miles from the coast. I put into Google Earth to what looks like the nearest coast to us, and it came out 76 miles, the journey. So I live as far as you can possibly get from the coast, so surfing's not easy, but we have a boat, and it is possible to surf behind a boat. I'm not talking about wakeboarding or wake skating where you hold a rope and the boat pulls you along. I'm talking about creating a wave off the back of a boat and surfing in it. Now, somebody a bit cleverer than me figured out that if you disturb the wake on one side of a boat, you can make the other side bigger. Now, the way we're going to do that is we're going to create a wedge that we're going to stick to the side of the boat, pretty crude. It's going to just disturb the wake. It's just going to make the boat hull a horrible shape on one side, and it's going to help us create a wake on the other side. So I've designed a shape, I've designed a way of sticking it on. What we're going to use, so this is actually a bit of a prototype. We're going to use these. So these are suckers that you would use if you were picking up a piece of glass. So they're really powerful. They're rubber, basically rubber plungers. Not kind of plungers. They grip on anyway to a flat surface. Side of the boat's fiberglass, nice and flat. So these will grip on. But the boat hull isn't completely flat like a piece of glass. It's got a bit of a shape to it. So I've designed in a bit of a pivot mechanism so that they can follow the shape of a boat. Now, on a flat surface, you can see how that works. And if you imagine a different shape, anyway, you get the idea. So it will follow the shape of a boat and stick on. And then it's going to have like a plate that's going to push the water out of the way. We'll do a little bit of experimenting and I'll show you how it works. Right now, I've got the Loyal Kana vibes going, and I'm going to cut round my plywood template on some HDPE, which is high density polyethylene. Reason I'm using this is because the density is less than water, which means it will float. There's not a lot of plastics that have a density of less than, I can't remember the exact figures, but basically density less than water is what it needs to float. Plywood has it, so plywood floats, but plywood falls apart. So this one's got wet, and it's not too clever. It's not going to last very long. So we're going to make a plywood one out of HDPE. So now we've built the thing. As you can see, we've got the pivot suction cups. They'll stick nicely to the side of the boat. And we've got a big flat face, and we stick it on the corner of the boat. The idea is it'll kill the wake this side and give us a good wake this side. If we want to surf to the other side, we can just simply attach it to the other side of the boat, and that'll give us a good wake the other side. So now we've made it, let's see how it works. So first off, we've got simply a ski boat with a small fat sack in the back. Now this fat sack is the equivalent of a small person just sitting towards the back of the boat, and we're driving at 9 miles an hour. As you can see, you've got an equal wake each side. It's very foamy, very frothy, no good for surfing. You'd never be able to surf on this no matter what you've got. Okay, now we move some weight to the back of the boat. Gives a bit of weight, but equal. As you can see, no real improvement. And now we're going to move all the weight that we have at the back of the boat to one corner. Now you see we're starting to get a bit of a wake here. We get more of a wake on this side of the boat than we do on the other side, but it's still not really surfable. I've tried this, you can't really do much with this. I think you'd have to put a lot of weight in this back corner of the boat to really get any kind of wave like this. We've tried loading the boat up all different ways, it just doesn't really work. It's not something I would do day in, day out to enjoy surfing. It's too much hard work. Now the last thing we're going to do is take the shaper, stick it on the corner of the boat. Now look at the difference. You can see there, the wake is so much cleaner. You've now actually got a proper surf wake curling out the side of the boat, and it's a wake you can surf. Is it as big as a wakeboard boat with a proper wake shaping system? No, but it's never going to be. You've got a ski boat. Now for those of you who don't know the difference, a wakeboard boat is wider, it's longer, it's heavier, it's deeper. In basic terms, it pushes more water out of the way. The water that gets pushed out of the way has to come back in. When it comes back in, it creates a wake. The bigger and heavier your boat is, the bigger a wake. Think the difference between a cruise ship and a sailboat. A sailboat's nice and sleek, cuts through the water, doesn't move much water out of the way. A cruise ship moves a ton of water out of the way. You could surf for days on a cruise ship. I'm not going to recommend that. It would take a while to come pick you up if you ever lost the way. So we're always going to be limited by the size of our boat. But what I believe we've done with this shaper is got the maximum out of what we can with our boat. I'm not going to go buying a new boat anytime soon, so I need to live with what I've got. Now the only thing I can do to make my surfing easier is to use a different board. Now wanting to maximise my surfing, I built this board. If you want to see how I built this board, click the link up above. And I'll show how I took this from bare foam to a complete board ready to surf. The combination of this surfboard and this wake shaper makes wake surfing on a ski boat a genuine reality, as you can see by these clips. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out my other videos to see all sorts of similar content. Thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this video.